I did have some questions because I was reading through things that were going on at the conference, and I've been talking to other people, and they were talking about various things. And one of my just like direct questions is, what is Wayfinder?
Wayfinder is our overall portfolio for services here at SentinelOne. So if you look at SentinelOne, we have two halves. We have Singularity, which is our technology platform,
Okay.
and we have Wayfinder, which is our services. So that includes incident response, managed detection and response, threat hunting, and also includes our detection engineering. So all the things that
So like
fire.
all the things we've been talking about, that's the umbrella.
Yep.
That's okay. I mean, I read about it, but I just wanted to hear it from you because, I have a chance to ask people that know, which is rare. I mean, usually we're sitting there going, what is it? And I was like, okay, I can ask somebody who actually knows what this is.
Yeah, it's just our portfolio for our services.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So I know one of the things that you guys are very interested in is AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like everybody else. And one of the things I was interested in hearing your opinion on was, how do you control essentially AI going off the rails, in your organization? Because I know as we embed these things, we don't always fully understand how they work. Mm, how do we manage that process?
So what we do inside of my organization and threat operations is really kind of approach it a couple different ways. One, before we do anything with AI, we make very intentional decisions on where AI will not be. Anywhere that we just believe a human decision maker is required, we will just cross it off the list altogether. So we do that before we lean into it. Second thing we do is we really try to look at the state of AI technology today and where can that succeed and grow and have some failures. So we then limit some that way. And then the third part is we take a very modular approach to it. We don't have one big AI. We have AI functions that do this particular thing, and they do this particular thing over here. So we're able to gauge, control, and measure that. So we don't end up with the big AI robot jumps the rails.
Yeah, I'm opening the pod bay doors hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's dangerous, especially at this point in history, to start thinking about just, we just turned it all over the AI and said, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think ground truth is AI is in its infancy. We are this is the wild west of the AI age. So we want to be very intentional about not just putting AI in all the things and then turn the lights off and going home, because we're going to learn here. We're going to fail and we're going to build new things.
And do you think all this kind of the spot AI is learning from humans? Is that part of what you have it doing?
It's critical for us at SentinelOne. I mean, like I mentioned, the portfolio, we have Singularity and we have Wayfinder. That's the exact model we use for our artificial intelligence, in particular, Purple AI. So we use that as our intrusion experts. It makes them better. It surfaces threats faster, helps scale, provides a lot of context. Also, they are doing their work inside of that. So the AI model is improving, and it just creates this flywheel that just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So when people ask us, why should I trust Purple AI over another organization's? And that's our first answer is we're using it with our experts. That is constant 24/7, 365 tuning when it comes to intrusions and alerts, which is where we're most concerned at right now.
So another one you have is called Observo, right? That's another, and that one's more of a. Well, I'll let you tell me what Observo is. I know what I think, but I'll let you tell me.
Yeah, so I can't give you all the fancy marketing and legal words for Observo, but the way that I think about it is it does two things for us, and we're excited about it inside of SentinelOne, along with adding it to our portfolio.
Right.
So within my organization, the two things that we are really looking forward to with Observo, one, it's just a much improved data pipeline. I don't know a single organization that is happy and satisfied with their existing data pipeline. It needs to evolve. There's new tech. Observo does that. In particular, one of the things it really will allow us to do is choose where we're sending which parts of data. So let's take our intrusion work that we do. There are some data elements that we want readily available right away and put in front of our experts. There's a bunch of data that we will consider context, and we can move that somewhere else. We don't need to pay high cloud costs, but it's there if we want it. Observo allows us to essentially channel that data. So that's the first part. Second thing Observo does for us is, with us inside of Wayfinder, we have thousands of clients. We are bringing in data from not even just SentinelOne, but other technologies. Data normalization is a massive challenge for us. Observo helps us solve that because we can essentially put a field right in front of our ingest point, and then we can write parsers to normalize the data as it comes in. And now we don't have to go all the way back to the originating source, change the data, and then run it all the way back to the pipe, or else do it in a SIM or an equivalent system.
Yeah.
Observo allows us to do that very quickly at the point of ingest.
Definitely make that. If you didn't have to run it back through, it'd definitely be a lot faster.
It makes a lot of speed, efforts. It saves us a lot of money.
So that's a very low level kind of AI system that's running there, and then you stack these other things on top of that. So that's where you start your ingest process for all this.
That's what we will with Observo. As we
Okay.
finalize that acquisition and move forward with that technology, we won't just sell it, we will use it inside of SentinelOne to help us solve some really challenging data problems.
So one other thing then back about your AI that's working with your experts, how do you keep, I've always wondered how you keep that stuff on the rail, even working with humans, because as you feed humans into it, I always had a kind of personal problem with holding AIs to the standard of humans or trying to emulate humans. Like, I used to Turing test for like, why would you do that? Why not make a better thing? So how do you keep guardrails around all that so you don't get hallucinations and all kinds of weird stuff?
We do it a couple of ways. One is we are actually using AI to provide context back to the humans versus get into this replacement. That's not really how we're handling it. So an example of something that we're super interested in and we're working to evolve internal to SentinelOne is I want AI when a junior analyst goes through and does their analysis of alert type X. As they finish that work, we also have a senior analyst who has analyzed that exact same alert somewhere else.
Okay.
I want AI to provide to the junior analyst what the senior analyst did and what is different or similar. Not that one's right or one's wrong. Let's just show how someone else did the exact same work. So we're actually using it for context and comparison versus replacement. Second thing we do is there are just some steps that we absolutely require a person to do, and we are very focused on that. A big example we have is contain a host. We will routinely, inside of our MDR organization, as certain alerts come through, we will go and contain that host. We'll isolate and quarantine it to stop an intrusion effort.
Okay.
We're not going to let AI do that. We will use AI to surface where those decisions are, but that's a human decision. We were not going to pass that off to the robots.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, I might. I think that's excellent because that's the thing that worries me about when I see AI being implemented, that it's going to just overreact or it's going to do things that cause me a great deal of downtime because, it decided this was problematic. So I like that idea. And I mean, and that is how you train junior analysts, right? I mean,
Exactly.
I mean,
Same methodology.
you just didn't have the AI part in there all along. It was like the senior analyst, you hope they don't call you every 5 minutes. I mean, I'm always telling my students, don't be that person, don't be the one that's like, oh, okay, and now I got this. What do you think? I want them to be like, I thought this through, but I don't know about that. And then they come in. So if you could learn through the AI and the senior analyst, that creates a much better junior analyst. So what does that make your threat team look like in, like 5 years?
I love that question. What I think that's going to make our threat team look like is a couple of major differences from where we are today. One, we expect that we're going to have to train and advance our analysts much earlier in their careers at a much more rapid pace. We can say today we're moving through like level 1, level 2, level 3, whatever the steps are. AI is going to speed that up because the manual work that slows people down is going to down select. And now people are working the real job, the really tough parts, and they're going to get better and better at that much quicker because they're not over here grokking through all the manual work we don't need them at. So I think that's part one. We need to prepare to train and equip our analysts and our researchers and our responders to advance through the career much sooner. I think that's a really positive thing. We're excited about it. I think another thing is it will allow us to scale in ways that are probably not really thought about today. And I'll give an example. Like we're talking about AI to make decisions. One of the AI use cases we're most interested in right now is it's great at translating written language. That's incredible. We have 155 countries where SentinelOne is deployed. That's a lot of written languages. I'm not really interested in going out and hiring a bunch of linguists or people in all these other countries to translate an alert. That's a good AI use case. So it's going to help us really focus on the core work of threat actions. And then I think the third thing that's really going to change is we're not going to have an AI that does a thing. And I may be wrong. We're guessing down the road.
Well,
What I think we'll see is we'll see a lot more rapid iteration and evolution in these distinct models. We'll be able to pick a thing up, rapidly improve it, and then put it down, and pick another thing up, improve it, and put it down. And I think that's actually going to be challenging for a lot of organizations. A lot of organizations struggle with change. And I think AI is going to really stress test that.
I work at a university. Like, you should see what change is like there. It's like we form 19 committees and a committee to supervise the committees. And then, in 7 to 12 years, we'll make a decision that will be, we don't know. So yeah, they don't move fast. But I mean, I worked for a lot of different companies that change was just absolutely poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
They did not want to hear it. They did not want to do anything different. I always remember I was pitching this idea about this automated, it wasn't AI, but it was an automated system to make loan determinations. It was based on a neural net. And so it was a kind of AI, but not modern. And one of the loan officers said, that will never replace me. I can always tell you if the person's good for it by looking them in the eye. And I said, okay, look me in the eye. Am I good for it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, well, maybe, but I was this guy's loan record was not good. We had done the data. So I think that kind of evolution is going to be forced on people that don't adopt, but I think it will cause that to happen much, much faster.
I completely agree.
And I would love to be able to develop a team member. I mean, I remember developing team members, and you're like, okay, 6 months, 8 months, and they're still going, I don't know, how do I find, but if I could develop them much more rapidly and get them to that what I would call as a system analyst level, I'm a lot happier. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to spend as much time training them, because if I can literally put them with a system that's flagging important things and they can watch that and they learned it from me, that's a very speedy process compared to them coming in my office every 15 minutes and going, here's another sheet. Can you?
Absolutely. And that's the kind of change we're really excited about. And I'll give you probably a really strange example. I'm in a curling league. Actually, one of my curling teammates is here at OneCon. So we were just talking this other day. We can go in a match and curl. I might throw 10 stones. I'm not getting much better doing that over a course of 90 minutes. I can go and practice in 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. I can throw 100 stones. That's an entire season's worth of curling effort in an hour and a half. We really think that's actually going to be a pretty analogous model for how our people are going to advance. They're just going to get more reps in on the things that matter.
One other question I had for you was about agentic AI.
Okay.
So we've been talking about these kind of like Gen AI sort of apps, but you're seeing more and more of this just rollout of bot. I got a sales bot. I got a customer service bot. I got everything. How do we manage that in this threat process? Because I see those things as being potential threats to just about everything.
Absolutely. I think any new technology you add into an organization creates risk surface area, which means now you've got threat to be concerned about. There is no way that's not true for agentic AI in particular. So I think there's really 3 things we recommend organizations think about, and this is the way that we think about it at SentinelOne. First, how are you going to understand if your agentic AI is functioning the way it's supposed to? Which means you need to understand baselines, you need to understand deltas. That's a real task. It should just never run, and now it's in the background, you don't pay attention. So that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is, how do you secure the model itself? That's an entirely different technology problem, but one that is critically important. Mm-hmm. And then the third part, and I think honestly the one that we are most concerned about, is agentic AI in particular, but all AI, is data greedy. It has to consume vast quantities of data. I think data is actually the largest challenge we have in all of cybersecurity. I agree. If I go to CISO and I say, how many endpoints do you have? CISO knows that. I say, how many cloud instances do you have? She or he will tell me. If I say, how much data are you securing? The room gets quiet really quick. And we've now just taken that problem and doubled it, because what's not happening is people aren't putting AI on top of their production data. They're creating whole dupe sets. So now we have this really significant challenge. And now AI itself has not made it worse, but we've really doubled that data problem. So we really think organizations have to think about data security. It's absolutely critical. It was yesterday, and it will be even more so tomorrow.